Stop talking about my ass. What? The barbs of the chain dug into my throat. Ready for the hard part? So embarrassing! A parody of what? A parody's nuts. Guys, this is comedy at its finest. Hi everybody, I'm Degenerate, and welcome back to The Price of Flesh. We're literally on a roll with this game right now. Now, as much as I would like to start with Derek, let's go back to our roots, shall we? And just play the DLC again, but this time with a cool twist. We're gonna play memelord mode. Plus, I'm doing it again because, well, when I first posted the DLC, show 2 was like completely obliterated. Recording wise, so here's my chance to, you know, make up for the fact that I just skipped right past show 2. All right, we always have a headache once we start. All right, it's beginning, but this is memelord mode. Hopefully I remember doing it because I had to go back with Celia in order to fix it. All right. The first thing I noticed was a pounding headache, then a strange sound. What's with the volume on my end? There we go. Clicking? Hard clicking, apparently. Fucking talons on him. I strained to hear as the clicking became the rapid tapping of a keyboard. I opened my eyes. It's dark. Yeah, it is. Why am I so uncomfortable? I began to register my position, kneeling on the floor with my arms above my head. I tried to lower my arms and heard the unsettling click of heavy chains. Oh, it's the star of the show. Not me. Now already, right off the bat, because it's memelord mode, I have to point out everything that's different for people who can't see it. The figure, obviously, of what looks like the chick from Marvel vs. Capcom, I think. I don't know. And then the colored keyboard, the RGB lights. That's just the first two things right off the bat. Some of them more obvious than others. Someone was in front of me. Look who's awake. Right on schedule. Yes, I wouldn't miss a show for the world. I jerked in surprise away from him, but the chains held me in place. The voice was strange, flat and mechanical. Couldn't make out his face. Make out. So, how are you? Do you remember what happened? As my brain started waking up, 1,000 questions started to bubble to the surface. None of these are different, but it always feels like there's always one more choice than there should be. But obviously we're gonna, you know, try to get try to stay alive as long as possible. We just gotta stay till the end. It hurts. It hurts. Yeah. I was at the auction and you're the announcer. Yes, that's right. Now don't worry about all that.
What?
You asked me. You made a choice to become my lovely co-star. So he is the main star. I'm too good at this. And I have to admit, I'm a bit giddy. No one's ever asked to come with me before. Obviously. Of course. Who would willingly do this? It's been so long since I put on a show. As he spoke, I tried to take note of my surroundings. It's so dark. It smells like bleach and shit. We're off to a great start. It smells like bleach and shame in here. I looked at the man in front of me. Aside from the strange ears and what appeared to be a tail, he's kinda twinky. A little flame of hope came to life in my chest. Why? I definitely made the right choice. I could have a chance in a fight. Let's not. I could Yo, this shit is insane. I could take a twink, I know it. Yes, you can. Wait till show 2. Wink, wink. I looked down at myself and my train of thought was completely derailed. Underwear, and it's lacy. This definitely isn't mine. Ah, yes, your outfit. I thought it'd be perfect for your first show. What do you think? Again, it seems like there's more choices than there should be. But we know which one to pick. Oh, you like it? It does look so cute on you. I spent quite a bit of time picking out the right set. I was sitting in front of the closet like, what should I put her in? We're going to have so much fun. And I just know chat will love you. You're actually right about that because I know what to pick. The question popped out before I could think about it. Yes, darling, in a few moments we're going live. It's a big audience we've gathered. Oh, and I almost forgot. You can call me Fox. Everyone else does. That's wrong. He placed a finger to my lips and I felt the odd sensation of a claw above it. Don't worry, I don't need your name. I already know it. Sometimes you want to just hit them. I opened my mouth to protest, but he had already turned away. Ignoring, too. I looked at the equipment surrounding me. They're cameras? A deep fear started to creep up my throat. Wait, you can't film me. You can't? Why? Shh, we're starting. Hello, can you hear me? How's the feed? I could tell he wasn't speaking to me. Obviously. I couldn't quite see around him. Yes, you too. My goodness, you got in here fast. He cleared his throat and stood up straight. Good evening, everyone. I'm so glad you could join me on such short notice. Oh, yes, I missed you too. Yes, my beautiful patrons of exquisite taste. Welcome back to my channel. He lifted his voice and spoke in a deeply expressive way to his audience. It overcame the mechanical flatness that seemed to be caused by his mask. I've got such a treat for you today. A fresh face. Please say hello to YN. What's up? She was going to be used for other business, but she wanted to come here instead. I squinted at the screen. With some kind of chat room and a video feed of me? Are those people watching me? Plug your own channel? I'd love to, but we gotta get the ball rolling. Please, I was kidnapped. I didn't ask to be here. On the contrary, madam. You did. Please, call the police. Sure. My voice wavered with my conviction as I saw Fox standing up uncaring. As if this is exactly what he expected. I tried to see the computer screen. He addressed the camera. Yep. Another one in the bag bucket. Okay. Honestly, I don't know why you guys bet on anything else. I can't. Sorry, Diamond, but let's see how our other bets go. There's a good sport. No one was calling the police. No one seemed to care at all. Oh, Ranker, that is disgusting. Maybe later, maybe later. Alright, Ranker, I understand. Come on now, you guys know the drill. We need to pace ourselves. We need to make it last, right? Yes. Let's start small. He suddenly got close to me. Scary. He gently grabbed one of my pinky fingers. I tried to pull away, but my hands were shackled together and chained up. Get those bets ready. This counts as first blood, alright? Yikes. He yanked my finger backwards with vicious force. My scream dissolved into a pained groan. I looked back to him, half expecting him to be facing the computer, but he wasn't. He was staring intently at me. My hands were shaking as I tried to hold back tears. Not bad at all. Should I leave it there or put it back? I opened my mouth and choked down a whimper before speaking. Let me know what to do. It's a routine at this point. He seemed pleased by my request. Of course. He immediately grabbed my finger and pulled it back into place. The wet grinding sound in my hand made me feel sick, but I managed to endure it without screaming, and I did seem to feel slightly better. So we lost 10 sanity just to get it right back. I flinched as he moved, but it was only to turn to the screen again. So, what do we think? Yes, I think so too. His tail swished behind him excitedly. Already? He laughed sharply. Well, with a donation like that, your wish is my command. So, feet again, Pandemonium? Nasty. I'm just teasing, of course. Let's see what we can do. He took a theatrical bow before stepping back towards me. It wasn't even the end of the show. You do that at the end of shows. Lame. Wait, don't. No. He ignored me completely as he bent down to my level. My protest cut off in surprise as he reached behind me and cupped my ass. I heard him breathing through the mask as he took a moment to squeeze the flesh. He slides his hand slowly down into the crook of my legs. Then he pulled, yanking my shins out painfully from under me. I yelped as my weight dropped entirely to my shackled wrists above me. What are you doing? He continued to ignore me and adjust the camera. All camera. It was like 50. Look at them. Look, 1, 2, and then there's one over there off to the side. Like, and he has 2 mics. Now that my feet were in front of me, I realized that they too were shackled together. I shuddered as he held one of my feet and rubbed with a clawed thumb. Take a good look, guys. What's that? What's that you got there? You know, knives are dangerous. Children shouldn't be playing with knives. The glint of a knife seemed to stop my heart for a moment. Things are about to get messy. Real sticky. Because moderately dry blood gets sticky, so. I tried to jerk my foot out of his grasp, but his grip was as tight as the iron shackles. Pain streaked up my leg as he pressed the tip of the knife into my soul. I clenched my jaw and tried not to scream. I didn't want to give these people what they surely wanted. I didn't want to look, but he caught my gaze, and a knowing look crossed his eyes. He plunged the knife deep into the bones and tendons of my foot. I only realized I was shrieking a moment later. Ah. You've got plenty of blood now. We? No. I was shaking uncontrollably, and hanging from my wrists made it terribly obvious. What did I say? What did I say? She's gotten nice and wet. What do you think, chat? He leaned closer to me. Should I have a feel? He didn't look at his screens or wait for an answer. No. He shoved his thumb into the wound in my foot, tearing another scream from me with his thick claw. Talons. No. My vision wavered as he massaged his thumb roughly in the wound. But you begged for this. That is true. He's got that against me. Or did you forget? Please, I didn't. But you did. He's too right to be wrong. He flipped the knife in a show for the camera. You did. And I think chat would like to see some more blood. Isn't that right? Let me go click clack into the computer. He finally relinquished my foot and turned to his monitors. He seemed to be reading some comments. There's 2 other cameras. That's right. Oh my gosh. Stop talking about my ass. What? No, I'm not gonna whip it out. Bro, you might as well. We're here. He sounded like he was trying not to laugh. Oh, calm down. Calm down. You guys are so one-track minded. That's why I love you. You love us? As the pain from my foot turned, that was so dumb. As the pain from my foot turned into a duller ache, I noticed the pain in my wrist again. I struggled to get my feet back under myself, and he noticed. Here, let me help you with that. Oh my gosh, that was so fucking funny. I cursed myself for flinching from him again, but he simply pushed my leg into their first position. Now, chat is still thirsty. What do you think? What are they, vampires? Anyways, fuck you. He laughed sharply. I had a feeling you'd say something like that. Whoa! He leaned in close to me and lowered his voice to a whisper.
Hey, how you doing, love mama? Let me whisper in your ear.
Chat adores the feisty ones. He moved to give a clear view for the cameras. He raised the knife, my blood still clinging to the edge. I sucked in a breath in preparation as he lowered it to the skin of my chest. He raked it slowly across my body, slicing apart the lacy top he dressed me in. What was the point? It stung, but I kept my composure as well as I could. For a moment, I wondered why he would cut apart the underwear he must have bought. That shit was probably like $30, nothing to him. I looked down at his knife, and the absurdity of that thought almost made me laugh. What is happening to me? The sting of the blade interrupted the chaos of my thoughts. I didn't suppress a groan this time. He was cutting deeper than before. A hot trickle of blood made its way over my heaving chest. I barely registered a low hum coming from him as he stroked warm fingers over my bloody chest. The sensation made me shiver involuntarily. Lovely. He raised the knife to my collarbone. I winced before the knife touched me, but it didn't prepare me for the intense pain. I couldn't help but cry out. It hurt so much worse than the other cuts. Well, yeah, it's in that sensitive area. That's... nope. His other hand had dipped into my waist. My composure was breaking. I could feel it. He kept cutting, and I kept crying. When I raised my voice, his hand squeezed my waist, digging claws into my skin. I glanced down and choked. My entire body was covered in blood now. Is he gonna kill me like this? No. There's way more creative ways to kill you, bro. Way more. It's about to happen right now, though. Well, I'm not gonna die. It's gonna be very painful. As if he could read minds, he stilled his hands and laid them close. I could hear him breathing hard through the mask. I didn't dare to speak. What was I gonna say? So he just breathed in my face? Disgusting. His ear twitched towards the computers, and then he stood up. He wiped off the blade as he read the words on the screen. Let's see what they said this time. Yeah, I got a little carried away. But can you blame me? I can't stop thinking about that emoji. His hips swayed to the side as if all he'd done was some kind of charming foible. Foible? Oh, wow. Thank you for the very generous donation, wound fucker. Is there anything special? Is there something special you'd like to see? Anything from my most loyal customer? Of course. Is that all? He suddenly turned back to me. God, no more. Aw, but someone donated, so back to work. He circled behind me and crouched in a fluid motion. I flinched as the sound at the sound of a metallic click. But to my surprise, the wrist shackles were disconnected from the chain above me. I fell forward clumsily until I was caught by clawed hands. No, come on back up. He pulled me back upright on my knees against him with surprising firmness. My hands were still bound by the shackles, but I relished the release of the strain from hanging. I literally cannot imagine how we're positioned right now. It's so confusing. But my relief was short-lived as he grabbed my chin from behind and forced me to look into the cameras. I've not been quiet. I've been very vocal, actually. You've been so quiet, darling. Why don't you say something nice for your admirers? No. His claws dug into my cheeks in direct contrast to his sickly sweet tone of voice. Spit at the camera. I spat as hard as I could at the camera in front of me. Ugh. It's like, oh, that must have been expensive, huh? Way more expensive than the clothes I'm wearing right now. I realized with some sense of satisfaction that I got to the lens. He shoved me forward onto my... I struggled with my shackled wrist underneath me until the swift kick collided with my ribs. Pain exploded through my torso. I couldn't breathe. I lay there paralyzed as his shoes walked past me to the camera. A flash of metal on the tip of a shoe told me why it hurt so much. I wondered if he broke a rib. There. How is it? Nice and clear again? Yes, very funny. You guys are so... He started laughing. Really? You bet that much? You really do have excellent intuition, Diamond. Congratulations on your big win. Oh yes. Of course, I haven't forgotten. A hand clasped around my neck and he yanked me backwards onto my knees again. I wheezed, still struggling to breathe. Break time's over. That was the worst break ever. Something wrapped around my neck from behind. A wave of panic washed over me as I tried to grasp it with my bound hands. With your bound hands? It was some sort of cable pulling tighter and tighter. I couldn't grab it. I can't breathe. You can monologue though, so look at that. Yeah! I tried to throw myself to the side, but all it did was tighten the wire on my neck. With increased urgency, I clawed at my own neck. I can't. You know, wound fucker. Panic eclipsed all over sensation. All over sensation? Oh, all other sensation. I can't read. I dug my own fingernails deep into my neck. I think I sneaked this one from your boy. From your boy? Yeah, because he was so adamant on having me, even though I didn't want him. It wouldn't move. It's too tight. I can't. The shackles on my wrist got heavier and heavier. It was a little funny. I think he was a bit upset. He's so annoying, though. Like, of course, he's annoying. We all know who he's talking about. It's definitely not Mason. The wire. I have to... We could just give up. My shaking hands kept dropping as I mentally screamed at myself to lift them. To pull the wire. To do anything. He has good taste, just like his old man. My hands fell into my lap like lead. My vision darkened. And we're gone. Fox's voice became jovial static. I couldn't feel anything. Nothing at all. Jump scare. No! I expected to hear something else, not whatever that was. Something hit me. My desperate lungs tore a violent inhale from the air. My body exploded into a terrible mess of coughing and sobbing. I began to writhe against the ground. When did I fall? What is happening? Oh, nation. Totally. We can wrap it up with... How's it going, sweetie? Fully Loaded wants to see you perform. Oh gosh, Fully Loaded is the worst. Whoever that is. I was still gasping. I could barely understand what was happening. You need to wake up. He grabbed my head. That's not how you wake someone up. That's how you put them to sleep. Before I could register what was happening, he slammed my face into the floor. I felt the crunch of the front of my face throughout my whole body. I was fully paralyzed with agony. So you expect me to... Never mind. He pulled my wrist up and reattached them to the chain above. Blood streamed down my face. I couldn't do anything but stare in shock. Where? He grabbed the sides of my head and forced me to look straight ahead. Are you guys ready for the finale? Yes, actually, I'm quite tired. He pressed himself into the back of my head. I froze in recognition as I felt his erection rub against the nape of my neck. I'm that far down on the floor? I was surprised to feel him let go and walk away. When he came back, my blood ran cold. He waved a gun in clear view of the cameras. He really likes guns. No, wait. Shh. Quiet. I'm not gonna kill you. If you do a good job, anyway. Actually, he turns to his monitors. Why don't we play a little game? It'll be fun. I heard the rapid tapping of a keyboard. I've made a poll.
Bruh.
The yawn. An eggplant emoji, you serious? He turned back to me with a horrific glint in his eye.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot to read the warnings! I did it again. So, guns. I forgot to read his warnings again. 1 second. Can I just read them now? Alright, I'm just gonna put them on the screen and then you guys got it. Ta-da. Yep. Everything's high and extremely high. And we're done. I cringed involuntarily as he approached me and raised the gun to my face. We're not gonna hear the gunshot because I'm gonna pass this like a champ. I'm gonna get the thumbs up, eggplant emoji, and heart eye emoji. YN here is going to open her mouth and give the barrel of this gun the best we've ever seen. What? And you guys will vote on whether or not I pull the trigger. What do you think? I bet this shit only has one bullet for this purpose. I trembled as he read the screens. He looked back to me. You'd better get to work. They've already started voting. Dang. They'd rather see me die than perform. Understandable. I can do this. I just have to imagine it's not a gun. Let's imagine it's an eggplant then. I leaned forward and opened my mouth. Nice. He gleefully shoved the gun inside. I immediately tasted blood. Well, yeah, he probably fucking broke my nose a couple seconds ago. We didn't mention it, but that shit must be gone. It must be from my face. Yup. My nose must be broken. Yup. I won't let that distract me. I stuck my tongue out and made sure the cameras could see. I'll give you a show. I leaned further forward, straining against the chain above. He responded by pushing the gun deep in my throat. The pole is so distracting. I choked briefly, but kept my mind on task. My life depends on this. My body hurts so much. I turned a pained groan into a moan. I heard his breath catch, even through the mask. It's working. No, it's not. I made sure to keep moving my tongue. I was concentrating so hard on the cameras, I nearly missed the sounds he made. Undoing his belt? Question mark? I risked a glance and my suspicions were confirmed. He undid his pants and started palming himself. Amazing. I'll take that as a good sign. Great. We're that far gone. If he likes it, maybe they like it. I let out another moan for the cameras. And if they like it, hopefully... I could hear him panting. This isn't so hard. Now you're getting it. He was practically moaning. What else do you get from his deranged psycho? I made a show of licking the length of the gun barrel. I was shivering. Good. That I was shivering? It looks like chat likes it too. I wrapped my lips around the gun. My thoughts wandered to the people watching. Oh, wandered. I can't read. Chat. How many people were watching this? Enough. My shivering became shaking. Come on. I could feel a hot flush flooding my face. Is it them watching me? Is it him? Let's just spitball and say it's both. Or am I have to focus on survival. Just a little more. I obeyed him and ignored everything else. It's just a gun. Yeah, it's just a gun full of bullets that could kill me. I gasped as the gun was suddenly withdrawn from my mouth. You're a natural. Yeah. I am the queen. Why did I say that? And it looks like chat was impressed. He placed the gun on the table. A little flutter of hope lit up in my chest. They like you, and they want to see more. They do? That's right. He was still breathing hard and still touching himself. Weird. Although, I think we should give them one more little treat before we wrap up for the night. Even though he specifically said it was the finale. What do you have in store for me? A huge... a huge eggplant. The chain above me loosened as he shoved my head down. He grabbed my head in an iron grip. Come on, guys. You thought I was gonna keep it in the video? Stop it, stop it. This man's got a knot in everything. Yeah. Two clawed fingers forced my eyelid of my right eye open. Panic flooded back through my system. What are you doing? His other hand went back to work stroking himself. Yeah, definitely getting censored, because now it's like right up in my face. He positioned himself above my eye. It's too late, my love. His moans started to sound like growling. He's the alpha. I can't move. Ooh. In a single instant, I'm trying to like replace this word with something else, but every other word is even more gross. Because I was gonna say cream. Stupid to say that. Let's just say some milk got in my eye. And I instinctively jerked my head. I screamed at the searing pain in my skull. His claw plunged into my eye when I moved. My scream trailed off into an agonized groan. So not only... This man is incredible, really. Not only did he spill a carton of milk on my face, but he punctured my eye whole. Oh my gosh. His painful grip stayed for so long, until it finally dropped away. My face was drenched in blood and other liquids I didn't want to think about. His heavy breathing finally evened out and he tucked himself. Okay, so he didn't do it. Great. The humiliation was just a faraway buzzing in comparison to the agony. My eye, I can't see from it. Did he really? Yes. My attention snapped back to him as he composed himself with a satisfied sigh. I thought you meant like that. He was talking to them again. How jealous. A perfect end to a perfect stream. Thank you so much for joining me, my delightful patrons. Read. And let's show a little appreciation for our lovely star. Shut up. Yes, I agree. Well, I'm sure we'll have plenty of fun next time, too. Good night for now. He made the motion of blowing a kiss to the camera. I bet all the ladies love him. I'm the ladies. Then he clicked something and tapped away at the keyboard. Hello. He sighed and turned to me. This man is tired. I squinted up at him. He didn't seem tired just a second ago. I squinted up at him painfully with my one good eye. Scary. To my surprise, he had pulled off his mask. Well, you survived a show. That's not very common, you know. You should be proud of yourself. You should praise me more so I could like you even more than I already do. I had no idea what to feel. Everything hurt so much. As adorable as you are like that, we should get you cleaned up. Paramedics, now. My eye is on fire right now. Got an STD in my eye. You serious? His voice sounded different without the mask. Duh. My brain was barely holding onto the concept. Hey. Hey. Suddenly, he was holding my face, looking at me. Snapping fingers. I'm tired. Good night. And I'm awake again. There you go. I love you. You're charming. There's the very obvious one. Hang in there, baby. You passed out. Obviously. Can't blame you, really. You did lose a lot of blood. No thanks to you. I gasped as I saw him clearly for the first time. He's older than I realized, and he really is short. But clearly inhuman as well. I looked around at the empty room around me. Why can't I see? I'm not gonna jog your memory this time. You gotta figure it out yourself. I held up a hand to touch my eye and found bandages. My eye? Yes. Bit of a shame, but you have a spare. That means you don't hurt the next one, right? Right. I did what you said. I survived. You said? That's right. You did very well. Aren't you gonna let me go? That poster says otherwise. We just gotta hang in there, you know? He responded in that sharp bark of a laugh. Oh, sweetie. You're not going to be leaving. 'Cause chat loves me so much. A lump caught in my throat. You have a job now. Which I'm not getting paid for, by the way. You need to keep performing. What? In fact, you better get some rest. You'll want to heal as best you can for our next show. He stepped towards the door. No, this can't be it. I lunged forward and immediately crumpled to the floor. Searing pain shot up my foot. Yeah, you might want to stay off that foot. Don't want to tear your stitches now. Those shits don't do nothing for me, yo. Look. Shit's still busted. I cradled my foot and tried not to cry. Good night. Wait. We're just gonna yell, let me go again? Get the fuck out of here. Sleep tight. Gone. I stared at the door. Then I looked around myself. Absolutely nothing aside from a litter box in the corner and some kind of foam mattress. What litter box? Go to sleep. Go to sleep. What? Yo. I dragged myself painfully, warily to the foam pad on the floor and flopped down. There's no point in working myself up now. My body hurts too much. I just want to sleep. For like a couple hours and then he's back. With two idiots. I woke up slowly, my body aching. The memory of the night before came flooding back to me with a wave of panic. As I stared at my empty confines, the panic slowly turned to misery. I looked down at myself and froze. Plain underwear? He undressed me when I was knocked out? Again. He loves doing that. Weirdo. I shivered at the thought before laying back down. There's no point in getting upset now. I rolled over and closed my eyes. I stayed in that room for what felt like days, but it was impossible to tell. No windows, no change in the lights, nothing to look at all. Dang, could at least give me a simulated window. Like, oh, look at the birds outside. So pretty. The maddened silence was only broken once every several hours. A meager meal of bread and water in a paper cup being pushed through the slot at the bottom of the door.
Huh?
For someone who made meat and potatoes the last time we saw him. Kind of weird to be giving me just bread and water. I considered starving myself. You might as well eat the bread. But I didn't have the strength, so I ate. And I rested. I tried to pretend I was in a hospital. Yeah, a hospital that instead of healing you, hurt you. That everything was fine. Some of my wounds began to feel a little better, but my eye didn't. Yeah. Of course it's hot and itchy. He spilled milk on our face. That's disgusting. It's probably infected. Ugh. I was too afraid to lift the bandages. Coward. I'm the coward? I shook the thought from my head. I let myself drift away into wavering unconsciousness. And we're back. My sanity is just doing this all day, up and down. We get a piece of bread, up. We see that we're still in this room, down. We gotta hang in there, you know? The sound of the heavy door swinging open jolted me out of a restless nap. He looks taller here, though. Right? What an illusion. I do love his outfit, though. It's, like, super attractive. It's time for you to work again. I shot upright and I unconsciously shuffled backwards. He's back. He came back. Rhino. Kangaroo. We love it. Before I could say anything, two huge guards entered the room behind him. They made him look even shorter, but somehow... I actually have a picture that I found. Because it's so funny. I'm gonna put it on the screen in like 2 seconds. But it's so funny. It's like this person like inflates soccer players' heads. It's so funny. Oh my gosh. I'm putting the picture in there of him and these two. It's so funny. I found it on TikTok. The air of malice still came directly from him. You need to get dressed. Dressed? Wouldn't you rather do that for me since you love dressing me while I'm unconscious? My own voice sounded foreign to me. I realized that I hadn't spoken in days. What is there to do? There's no TV. We get literally the wackest meal every other day. Even though he's a chef. You could give me some chicken hearts, anything. He threw a wad of black netting in front of me. Yes, dressed. This is my favorite sprite right here. I can't look at it for too long or I might actually explode. I grabbed and examined the wad of material. It unfurled into some sort of bodysuit made entirely of fishnet. It's not a question, it was just fishnet. I'm dumb. Complete with underwear that looked much too small for me. On purpose. I looked back up to him. Surely he doesn't. He sighed with obvious annoyance. We're on a schedule. You can get dressed, I'll have them do it for you. I looked at the pair of goons and gulped. Let's get dressed. It's fine. I can do it myself. I held up the scant netting. Ugh. If this fly doesn't disappear from my radius, I'm going to explode. It's one of the baby ones. The little... Beep, 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 beep. The little baby ones. Annoying. Moving on. I hooked a thumb in my underwear and looked up, half expecting them to turn around. But of course they didn't. Look at it. God, so distracting. I shakily removed my underwear, trying to cover myself. Thankfully, they seemed to not react at all. They're grown men. I hastily pulled on the new underwear. I was a bit relieved to find that it was extremely stretchy. The underwear? But it was still terribly revealing. I sighed in defeat and pulled the fishnet over my body. Lovely. Stand up straight and turn. He wants me to put on a mini show for him. I could feel myself flushing hotly. I tried to remind myself that this is surely better than what's coming. No, it's true though. The thought didn't help much. I obeyed him and turned around slowly. Perfect. He did sound pretty happy. Hopefully I bought myself some mercy. Just a little bit. He made a motion towards me and a guard approached. What? Oh, yeah, I forgot we got him. I stayed still as he circled behind me and pulled my arms back. A click, and the familiar weight of metal shackles weighed up my wrist down. Now come on, we don't have any more time. The guard pushed me forward and out of the room. I was walked down a few dark hallways before we stopped at another heavy door. Where would the exit would have been? Like, when would we have time to even find an exit? That's so whack. Once you're here, you're done. That's terrible. That thought is terrifying. As I was pushed through into the darkness, I smelled old blood. I'm so tired of flies, bro. Summer is great and all, sure, nice weather, but the insects that come out during this time, horrendous. We're back. I saw the screens and the chain. I was pushed to my knees below it. Not this room. There's not a new room for every show. I couldn't stop the panic from buzzing in my brain. Like the fly in my room right now. My feet were shackled to the floor. Please, not again. My wrist shackles were attached to... What? Go back? Attached to the chain. Okay, so I was right. That'll be all. Heavy footsteps left the room, and the door thudded shut with terrifying finality. Is that his... No, never mind. There was an awful voice in my head repeating the same thing over and over. You're not going to survive this again. You're wrong. Mind. I am gonna survive this, actually. I survive it every time, because I'm that good. A hand grabbed my face. Are you ready? No. Just take a deep breath. I think you'll... Well, we're about to go on. What were you gonna say? He let me go without waiting for an answer. Then he tapped at the keyboard. He rolled his shoulders and sighed. He is not loving this. No wonder it's been so long. He is bored of this. It's not what his erection said last time, though. So, then he straightened. Hello, my dear friends, and welcome back to my channel. I see it's gotten a bit busier in here. How exciting. I bet I can guess why that is. You've fallen in love with YN, haven't you? Are you asking yourself that? I know he loves me. He laughed, not in his usual bark, but the light and controlled laugh of a host. Well, I'm pleased to share her with you. You don't even use me as much. Stop it. Stop. Don't lie to them. You just give me bread and water. And apparently a litter box to shit and piss in. It's on my screen! And I missed it entirely. He stepped out of the way and gestured to me. I stumped to my bounds. I know them now. There's no point in begging or crying for help. Oh, come on now. Don't be shy. Say hi to your admirers. Please go easy on me. I looked at the camera and tried to smile. I knew it was shaky and weak, but maybe if I charm them, they won't. Oh? How adorable. You need to stop doing that. I'm trying to hate you right now. He stared at me for a moment. Then he turned back to the camera. Weirdo. Now I was thinking we start off with... What happened to her eye? Were you not here last show? Get with the program. Oh, how careless of me. My apologies. Some of you weren't here last time. Allow me to show off our previous work. He lifted a camera off of its tripod. Damn, that camera looks pretty good. Then he brought it close to me. I could feel myself cringing away from the invasive lens. He circled behind me. The foot was fun. Looks like it's healing pretty well. I yelped involuntarily as a claw prodded at the stitches at the bottom of my foot. It was certainly rough enough to draw blood, but I couldn't see. He came back around. Can you see the bruises? Oh, he shoved the camera close to my chest. It's a little hard to tell with the fishnets right now, but we had to sew her up here too. This man is... ugh. Last time he drew a knife to my skin, he put a heart in it. He made a heart shape. I thought it was cute. He didn't do it this time though, which is whack. And of course, he brought the camera up to my face, hovering above the bandage over my eye. I suppose you'd like to see what's under here, Without warning, he unlocked the back of the bandage and hastily unwrapped it. Wait, the last part was stuck. He tugged it and tore it away from the flesh and dried fluid it was fused with. Stinging pain returned and I felt a warm drop roll down my face. Wow, maybe we should have changed that bandage. Doesn't look so good. All that time I was sitting in that room bored. You didn't do anything? He actually sounded a bit apologetic. I assumed it was just for the cameras. He loves putting on a show. He delicately placed the camera back on his tripod and took a moment to read his screens. Now, you know that kills them every time. We can't do that before we've even done anything. Where's the fun in that? Let's start with something a little more nuanced. Who said that? Who asked to do that? Because I know what they asked. I'm not stupid. He left for a moment as he retrieved something. Oh, I thought it was the nail gun. Oh my gosh. Then he held it up to the camera. You've got to be patient if you want to appreciate the finer things in life. So, plenty of you seem to remember what this is. Anyone have any design ideas? A heart. He went silent for a moment as he seemed to consider whatever chat was writing. Interesting ideas. I'm not sure about the artistic vision though. Let's do a classical design for old time's sake. Shall we get to work then? If it's an S, like those S's you write in like middle school, I'm gonna die. Fear pricked up my neck as he made his way to me. He lifted the item in front of me this time. Do you know what this is? Why should I care? A bedazzler. We're about to get bedazzled. A glue gun, I don't know. He leaned back and barked out a laugh. That's close, I suppose. Close enough. Let's get started, shall we? So instead he doesn't say what it is. He's like, oh. He circled around my back again where I couldn't see. Your cute little fishnet is in the way. Why'd you put it on me then? I felt a few claws touch my bare skin. I couldn't help but shiver and arch away. I could hear his breathing get deeper. I steadied myself and prepared for pain. But I only heard the faint tear of fishnet instead. The slow anticipation of the agony I knew was coming threatened to push me into insanity. Warmth spread over a small area of my spine. It felt kind of nice until I shrieked in agony. A searing hot point was pressed against my back. I tried to wrench my body away from it, straining against the shackles. This has got to be the worst tattoo ever. Stay still, darling. He hissed into my ear. I could hardly hear him over my own screaming. He dragged the point over my skin, burning, sizzling. I could smell my skin. Tasty! I twisted in my bonds and retched from the awful smell of my own flesh cooking. Relax. I couldn't think. I needed to escape the pain, the burning. The horrific instrument was lifted from my skin, only to be brought down again, directly over my spine. Yikes. It's like it purposely goes to places where it will hurt more than others. Like sensitive places, like, you know how you get a cut in between your fingers? That hurts more than a cut on your finger. Like here. Annoying. Just annoying. Your lip is more sensitive than maybe any other part of your face. It's terrible. So he chooses to go to places where it will hurt more. Annoying. I screamed as my body slammed against the restraints, my shoulder. Something. I couldn't concentrate. Tears flowed freely down one side of my face from my undamaged eye. I couldn't stop screaming. He kept dragging the searing point through my skin for what felt like an eternity, until he finally lifted it, pausing. The pain washed over me in residual tidal waves. I felt like I was drowning in it.
Drown in it!
I'm dizzy. I heard his footsteps. Uh-oh, he's about to show everybody. I can't wait to find out what the design was. He took the camera somewhere behind me. Well, pretty cute, right? I blinked and tried to see the screen. The feet of my own mutilated back. The shape. Oh my god. I knew it. It's an S. It's an S, everybody. The iconic S. It's really cool. Is it? I heard him laugh. It sounded hollow and far away. Her arm? Really? Suddenly, he was holding my face again. Wake up, sweetie. I wasn't asleep. Does your shoulder hurt? No. Don't touch it. I groaned slowly, absorbing his words. My shoulder. I tried to move it and cried out. What happened? I didn't read anything about no shoulder doing anything. Ah, you dislocated it. And I felt nothing? I told you not to squirm so much, didn't I? I squirmed that much? Dislocated my shoulder? I heard a metallic click. I screamed as my wrist and the heavy metal cuffs attached to them suddenly fell down. I crumbled to the floor with a sobbing heap. You want me to push it back in? Phrasing. Yeah, sure. I mean, why not? That's a good pet. It'll make you feel better. Just to bring the pain back again. He bent down and grabbed my wrist out from under me. The motion sent another dizzying wave of pain from my shoulder. I saw him opening the shackles with a key. A key. I barely considered using the opportunity to escape. Barely, but we're gonna try anyway. Because we're so cute. This might be the only chance I'll ever get. I shoved him away from me with my good arm and tried to stand. Ugh. I fell forward. My eyes so sassy. Ugh. She tried to escape again. Ugh. My legs were weak and still shackled to the floor. I cried out as his boot slammed down on my ravaged back. That was stupid. Brave maybe, but stupid. I knew that though. I'm not dumb. The heel ground down. He scoffed lightheartedly. Chat thought it was pretty cute though. So reassuring. I groaned in pain as his boot left my back. I felt his knee replace it. Then he grabbed the wrist of my injured arm. I shrieked as he yanked my arm outwards, but I felt the bone sink back into its socket. The pain died down immediately and significantly. Tears of relief rolled down my cheek and onto the floor. He pushed me back to the seated position and clamped the cuffs back over my wrists. I hissed in pain as he raised my arms and clipped them back into the cabin. Be careful now. His voice dropped to a dangerous growl. The shoulder's still delicate. Like your loins after you're finished spilling milk on my face. I know. He casually turned back to the screens. He took a moment to read before chuckling quietly. Oh, I agree. I'll have to watch the footage back myself. I was busy. Busy doing what? What do you do that's not this? He turned back to me. Chat tells me that you looked incredibly cute while I was working on your back. Oh, he's about to give me back shots, bro. Alright. They really liked it, and they're itching to see more. I shrank away from him silently. Not more. He swooped gracefully behind me and crouched so that his face was right beside mine. I flinched as he pressed my against my back, reigniting the pain in my burns. He spoke clearly to the cameras. Are you ready for more, chat? Chat, is this real? Me, bro. Well, he about to. I jolted as I felt his hand slide over my thighs. I couldn't stop a whimper as his claws dug into my soft flesh on the inside. He dug the claws in and pulled, forcing my legs apart. I'm so excited. The camera there. Despite everything, I could feel shame heating my face again. I lowered my head, trying to escape the sensation. Come on now. I could feel the cold metal of his mask against my cheek. Metal? Don't be shy. Press some more! I held in a cry as he raked the claws through my skin, tearing the fishnet. That outfit was so pointless. He dug them in ruthlessly, keeping my legs pried open. I bet Chad's getting very excited. I couldn't give any f right now. I don't even have to check to see. Good for you. He reached a hand up to my chin and held it up for the camera. We're gonna put on a show like they've never seen. You sure you've never done this with anyone else? This is the first time. His voice went quiet. Aren't we? I'm supposed to answer? Any question about what he meant disappeared as he roughly grabbed the front of the underwear I was forced to wear. I yelled as he pulled back his claws, easily tearing the fabric away and grazing my sensitive skin. So he puts the clothes on me just to rip them the fuck off. Interesting. I gasped and automatically tried to close my legs, but his iron grip returned and he held them open, claws digging in again. How is he so strong? He ate his Wheaties. I cringed, mind racing, trying to forget the cameras. Trying to stop my body from shaking. Take a good look, chat. This might get a bit intense. I breathed a sigh of relief as his hands relinquished my thighs. I clamped them back together as he stood up and walked away. I could hear the shuffling of objects, chains. I somehow felt more exposed in front of the cameras without him there. He returned holding things I couldn't make out and dragging a large wedge. It begins, ladies and gentlemen. It begins. He pushed the wedge in front of me. Something clicked on the floor, holding the wedge in place. What? Then he returned to his position in front of the screen and held up some kind of belt. No, it was a gag. Oh, okay. It's one of those things where you can put whatever you want into the gag so that it's not just a boring old red ball or whatever. Then he wagged something else in front of the camera with a light chuckle. Isn't it funny? No. It reminds me of hentai. We know you know all about that. You like it? No, it's going in her mouth. Assholes behind the screen! I know you like the screaming, but this is all part of the game. We need to fill up her throat. Wait, what? Lend me your faith, beloved friends. It'll be fun. What does he mean? He means open up. That's what he means. He returned, kneeling in front of me, and this is the part that was discarded from the original video. So, have fun, guys. He returned, kneeling in front of me and pushing the object through the gag. I could finally see it. Some sort of tentacle. This must be a joke. He said it was funny. Open wide. I didn't even have a chance to resist or comply. He jabbed 2 claws in my mouth, and... Does he wash his hands? With the amount of times he uses his hands, I don't know if he washes them, so just... And that was enough to shove the skinny tip of the silicone tentacle in. The process was cut off by the rest of the tentacle being swiftly pushed in. Can I read? I couldn't do anything but choke as he fastened the rest of the gag around my head. My heaving brought tears to my eyes, well, one of them, but I slowly adjusted. I was shaking, but I could still breathe through my nose. How's that? I could only stare at him, panic surely written all over my face. Good. You're all ready for the fun part. This is the worst ever collar. He held up the last object. A chain. It's a choke chain. Surprise! Happy birthday! But I've had this one specially made. By who? I don't even want to... Forget it. The prongs were sticking straight out and they ended in cruelly sharp points. I tried to jerk away as he lowered the chain around my neck. My attempt was cut short by the metal needles. That's right, you should be careful. The gag and its attachment kept my neck stiff. I finally understood it. Even breathing and swallowing became a dangerous ordeal. It'll be okay. If I just stay perfectly still, nothing will happen. But guess what? We're about to be moving back and forth. Thanks to him. So that's gonna be hard. Pun intended. The click of my wrist cuffs being unhooked startled me out of my thoughts. My hand fell in front of me, causing another grazing by the needles. I could only shiver in reply, making sound wasn't possible. I heard the click of the chain behind me. So many chains, bro. Chain this, chain that. Like, come on. I tried to move with it to avoid any more damage. Another click. There. The steady position of the collar told me he'd hooked it to the same chain my cuffs used to be attached to. I was paralyzed in my position. The fear of the needles kept me still. Then I felt his fingers on my back. Even the feather-light touch sent shockwaves of pain through my destroyed skin. He began to press. I was forced to lean over the wedge. Fun! Panic shot through me as I tried to steady myself with my hands on the wedge. He kept pushing my back. I was trapped between the pain of my skin and the threat of the choke chain. Are those things real? Like, I've never even seen one of those before. And the awkward balance over the wedge. I leaned awkwardly forward, trying to steady myself. My legs were already shaking. The barbs of the chain dug into my throat. Ready for the hard part? Unintended. I heard the unmistakable pop of a button. A shuffling of clothing. He can't be, but he is. I stiffened as I felt his fingers spread my skin. Just my skin? I couldn't escape. I couldn't even make a single sound of protest. He pushed himself against my entrance. And it begins. He forced himself past the resistance. I could hear him breathing harder. He moved his grip to my hips and forced himself deeper. I lurched forward automatically. I couldn't stop my body from trying to escape the invasion. The prongs dug into my throat in reply. My body moved on instinct again, this time slamming backward into him. The reaction elicited an indulgent groan from him. That's perfect. I bet it is. I bet it is. He dug his claws into my thighs and pushed himself deeper. Great. Tears wavered in my vision. Why is it thicker, the base? I can tell you why. Furry anatomy. My thoughts were dissolving as the rest of his member was shoved inside. People use that word. The tearing sensation made my knees buckle. My loss of balance was immediately translated into another tightening of the chain. Why? This is too much, I can't take it. Wow. He pulled back and slammed into me again. Dang! I was trembling. Tears were freely falling now. You gonna stop them? That was gonna help you? I stared at the camera in front of me. I knew how I must look. Well, all you gotta do is look at the monitors. That's how you look. How broken. Thank you. I try my best. His claws sunk deeper to punctuate his words. He started to with an even rhythm. My feet were slipping, the collar. I was faced with an awful decision. Guys, we have to. Get me back. How terrible that I had to choose to lean back. Oh no. I locked my knees against the wedge and pushed forward. Backward. I sank into him, forcing myself to take more of his member. The chain around my neck loosened in response, His shuddering moan told me that he noticed as well. His grip lightened up slightly. I understand the unspoken exchange. This is better than the collar. I can play along. I moved back against him, trying to match his pace. This music is like all bass. The claws still dug in, but it wasn't so bad. My legs were still weakening from the awkward position. I was shaking, but I kept moving. I started breathing hard from the effort, feeling him inside me, slamming into the sensitive core. It was just the effort, right? I was panting as much as the gag would allow. I started to force the pain all over my body. Forget the pain. Force the pain? The thread of the needles around my neck remained, but as long as I pushed back harder. I just need to get away from the collar. That's my main goal right now. It feels so good. Look at that. His grip was getting tighter. I didn't care about the claws anymore. Interesting. I was shaking. My eyelids fluttered. Just keep going. Whoa! Calm down. I need it. I need more. A wave of ecstasy shook me. And that took away sanity? Okay. I slammed myself backward into him. I wanted to scream, but I couldn't, obviously. His panting had changed. It sounded like he was stifling himself? You know what that means? Another wave shook me, and I ignored everything else. All that mattered was the feeling. Suddenly his claws clamped into my flesh and he slammed his hips onto himself. Slammed my hips onto himself. That would have made no sense. He let out a terrible animalistic moan above me as he arrived. And I welcomed it. Welcome into my home. Please. Make yourself comfortable. I could feel a pressure inside me growing. The pressure kept growing, inhuman. Dang, now I gotta have his kid? Dang. That's like the last thing I want. Warm liquid leaked from our connection and streamed down my leg. Our breathing finally slowed down. I bet there would... I don't think there's any like condom that would fit him though. If you really think about it. Because it wasn't shown, but he has the genitalia of an actual dog. So yeah, there's no such thing as dog condoms. Unless you neuter them. And I highly doubt man's is neutered. My sense started coming back through the fog of endorphins. A click accompanied the remainder of the chain falling to the nape of my neck. My body was completely spent in every way. He groaned, seemingly stuck. We're still connected somehow? Then he pushed on my hips, forcing himself out. Great. The pain seemed distant now. My limp body slipped down. I ignored the sounds of him fastening clothing, talking breathlessly to his chat. This music. The wedge was pushed away. The chain finally lifted away from my neck. And finally the gag on my head unfastened and pulled out of my throat. I gasped in relief. I shook my head and started to notice what I was wearing. Oh, hearing. Obedient little pet. I feel it. I felt it. She definitely arrived. Shut up. Don't tell everybody that. That's our secret. He laughed lightly, still a little out of breath. I can't believe I almost auctioned her. Yeah, and to Derek. Couldn't you believe that? My wrists were pulled up to their original position and attached to the chain above. I hung from them limply. I felt his hand cup my face again. Hanging in there? Like the poster? I'm a little bit surprised that you survived that. It's not even that serious. Come on. But you did well. His hand caressed me softly. He did really well. Okay, Mr. Flirtyson. Flirty, flirt, 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 flirt. He left my side and went back to his screens. He seemed to be reading. They tell me your eye looks terrible. When you mutilate something like that? Yeah. They said it looks like the inside of a pizza pop? What the f does that even mean? It looks like a Cronenberg movie? You guys. Like someone put an essential oil bath bomb in the microwave. You. Like a prolapsed. Oh, gross. Okay, we get it. I'm not saying that one. You'll say everything else though. Anyway, I'm afraid they're right. I turned my head away automatically. I didn't know why I felt ashamed of it.
It's not my fault!
I think it might cause problems if we leave it like that. I think I'm gonna have to... It's gonna have to come out. I kinda assumed it already was out, but hey. Oh my gosh! Please take it out. Oh? It hurts. I know it's fucked up. Yeah, it is. They said it looked like a Cronenberg movie. My voice cracked. Please fix it. Please make it better for me. Please. I started to cry. Barely out of one eye. I knew how pathetic I must look, but I didn't care anymore. We're that far gone, huh? Well, not even. Look, 45? That's nothing. He caught my face in both hands. Of course I will, sweetie. Oh my god. I'll do everything I can to make it all better. Okay. He touched his mask to my forehead in a gesture like a kiss. It somehow made me feel better. But it took away sanity? That makes no sense. Something in the back of my head told me it shouldn't, but I ignored it. I just needed to get some supplies. See you in a jiff! He walked away for a moment and started digging through drawers somewhere in the darkness. I vaguely wondered how he could even see anything in here. I actually don't know either. He seemed to be taking longer than usual though. I started to feel more aware of the cameras aimed at me. Smile! I don't know what possessed me to do it, but I lifted my gaze and shakily attempted to smile. Maybe if I appeal to them. It's not like there's much of anything else I can do. He finally came back wielding a small tray. Then he knelt down in front of me and held up a thin metal instrument. This is to hold your eye open so I can work. Hopefully I stay still long enough. I understand. Because I'm not dumb. I shivered as he brought the tool to my eye. I bit my lip as he pushed it in, propping my eyelids open painfully. You might want to... But you might want to look away with your good eye anyway. As soon as he raised a scalpel, I obediently tried to look away. Damn, we can't have anesthesia or nothing? I can't do this. Shh. All you have to do is stay still. You know how hard that is? He suddenly pressed his face right beside mine and spoke in a whisper. No microphone could pick it up. How did you know? I'm only cutting out the bad part for the audience. How kind of you. If you behave, I'll have an expert look at it later. You're so nice sometimes. Stop it! You're making me mad. Stop. You're being so nice. He leaned away and twirled the scalpel deftly for the camera. Or was he demonstrating his dexterity for me? Oh, please. The idea evaporated from my mind as he raised the scalpel into position. I bit down on the screen as the blade penetrated the ruined flesh in my eye socket. I could feel him carving. Gross. My entire body was shaking violently. The sound of delicate metal instruments grazing each other punctuated my whimpers. I tried to fight through the pain to stay still. I actually welcomed the vice-like grip of his hand steadying my head. He was moving quickly. So quickly, he became a blur. The throbbing pain started to subside. That's better. What? Pissing out? What? Missing out? Huh? What do you say? What's happening? Want me to... What? Could go again, but... Okay. Should... What? I'm sorry. Blank will kill her. I don't know what... Yes, I think so too. For another show. That... I'm gonna guess that says that's what I thought. Let's get you stitched up. Cool. If I did that show wrong, I would have failed. Like, something bad would have happened. Is it over? I felt as though I drifted in and out of sleep for days, but I couldn't tell. I kept dreaming about pain and teeth. Teeth? I felt a shift, something pulling my awareness from the deep murk again. Something petting my head. Did I wake you? Shut the fuck up. I'm kidding. I love you. My body was so heavy. What the fuck is that? So embarrassing! There you are. I never left. You've been sleeping so long that I was a little worried you'd slipped into a coma. I looked at him, panic rising, but I couldn't seem to speak. Relax. No show today. Tomorrow, though. Be ready. Those words sent a wave of relief through my body. I've gotten you all fixed up. They couldn't save your eye, but it's been prepared for a prosthetic. That's how you know he was gonna keep me, bro. Come on now. He's gonna give me a prosthetic eye? So that definitely means you're not gonna kill me, so. You're gonna spend money on a prosthetic just to kill the person who has said prosthetic? I barely remembered my eye, even though you can't see out of it. I reached up to touch it automatically, and I recoiled with a gasp as I felt nothing there. Don't fiddle with it needs to heal more. Something about what he said. A prosthetic. Why would you help me? Why would you? Why would you even bother fixing my eye if you're just gonna kill me?
Correct!
My voice came out as a croak. He looked down at me for a moment before answering. Your shows have been very popular. But you have the money already. You have money already. So seems that my audience adores you. They're begging to see more. But they're fickle too. You may not live to see their prosthetic. Fuck you. He chuckled softly. It's better to be prepared just in case. I relaxed slightly and started to look at him more closely. A full view of the sweater? Oh my. As I focused, I realized he was wearing a really fucking ugly sweater. Hoodie. God damn. It's true. It's rude to stare, you know. That's like my favorite line with these people. Every time I play this type of game, they're like, oh, it's rude to stare, you know. They're iconic for saying that. Every other thing that they do is rude. But that's the thing that's... Oh, you crossed the line with that one. I hastily tore my gaze away from the offending garment and fidgeted nervously. He let out a quiet, lighthearted chuff. It's fine, you're on a lot of drugs. Cool. I'm so cool, radical, bro. Probably won't even remember this anyway. So why do this? Well, who did that to you? He laughed. A single dry bark. A dead man did. You know. I used to think he opened my eyes. Why? Why did you think that? Then I thought he closed them. Why did you think that too? And now I realize he didn't do much at all. Neither do you. He may have made the scars, but the scars didn't make me. Interesting. I did that myself. You're lying! I guarantee if he didn't meet Strayed, he would not be like this right now. He laughed again, but this time more heartedly. I guess it's time for me to go. There's always business to attend to. What do you do besides this? Are you gonna kill me or not? Well, that's up to chat, isn't it? Yet you're the one behind the computer. I thought you were the one in charge. Get some rest. Answer my question. Wasn't hard. But before I knew it, he was gone. And I was all alone again in an empty room. I tried to think about what happened, but the mist in my mind closed in again. And I drifted back to sleep. Something was shaking me roughly. I reluctantly opened my eye and groaned. Be gentle for fuck's sake! I like this sprite too. I didn't pay for all that medical work for you to tear it all up again. Sorry, sir. I tried to make sense of what was happening. I was dragged to my feet. Come on, showtime's in 5 minutes. Showtime. Showtime! The gears in my head started slowly turning and panic started creeping into my awareness. Into? That should be one word, right? Let's move on. I looked down at my body. Surely enough, I was just another laundry outfit that barely covered anything. This one was nauseatingly girly. Pink bows, ruffles everywhere. What's with him? So weird. A top and bottom, along with a skirt and garters, clearly designed with fetishists in mind. Ah, okay. I get it now. Ugh. Ugh, what? Ugh, what? You love me so much you just... Oh! My legs weren't working at all, but that didn't stop the goon from dragging me. Eventually, we made it to the heavy door. He's like, get the I'm done with you. You're fired. The dark room. Let's just call it the studio. I was shoved forward into the abyss and pushed onto my spot on the floor. My head was swimming, my limbs were numb. I could barely concentrate, let alone fight them as they snapped the familiar shackles on. Snackles? My wrists were raised above and clipped into place on the chain. I remember this. I remember all of this. I should be afraid. Alright, out. Get out. I blinked slowly. The screens are so bright. Hello again, my friends. I'm so happy to see you all again. And I've got quite the treat for you today. Our lovely star is back for an encore. This is my last show, guys. I'll see you in heaven.
Hell, actually.
Let me change that. And this time I thought it would be fun. His hand brushed over my chest possessively. If she had a bit of a cocktail before the show. You mean drugs? She's on a few painkillers among other things. She's a little out of it. What's this painkiller pussy shit? What are you talking about? How am I supposed to live through your fucking encore if I don't have at least something in my body? Very astute and vulgar question. Physical pain can open and close many doors. Don't worry. You don't have to understand. Yeah, you're behind the screen. You don't matter that much. Like, come on now. I'm only too happy to demonstrate. And I remember a few people asking for some hardware fun the other day. So why don't we play another game? Ugh, these games are so fun. As he walked out of view, I felt my head dropping. It felt so heavy. I felt so heavy. Why are the screens so bright? I jumped to the sound of a motor. I imagined a car or a train. What? There are mad cameras. He turned to me, searching frantically for whatever machine was about to mow me down. Most of you have seen this before, yes? Oh my god. I love this nail gun.
Okay.
It excites me every time. It's like nail gun time. A loud bang sent my body jumping as much as the shackles would allow. My pounding heart felt like it was going to explode. It's a pneumatic nail gun. So wait, why would he ask me then? And yes, I absolutely do know how to use it. Wait a minute. Oh my gosh, I love this. He circled around me and pressed the cold metal tip to my shoulder. Do you know what a pneumatic nail gun is? Yes, I do, actually. And I'd be happy to answer your question for you. I looked up at him. I couldn't seem to focus. I don't know. I'm supposed to say I don't know. No idea, huh? Another bang and a sickening singling sensation. What? I tried to see my shoulder. The light from the screen caught a metallic tip and the tiny bead of blood welling around it. Is it a nail? Is it? That's right. I knew it was supposed to hurt, but it felt different. Without the pain, it just felt like something that wasn't supposed to be there. Without the pain, it just felt like something that wasn't supposed to be there. Digging deep in my arm. No, squirming under my skin. We could leave it in there for a couple seconds, it's fine. I couldn't mask the panic in my voice. It's time for question 2. We love quizzes. He moved the tip of the gun over my arm closer to my elbow. What's my name? Oh, please, it's Fox. Remember, you told me the first show. It's Fox, he said. Oh, you remembered. Oh my gosh. But unfortunately for you, that's not my real name. Come on, you had to know that. There wasn't enough time to figure it out. You He pulled the trigger. My arm was shaking. I wanted it to stop. It just made me feel them more under my skin. Just, you know? Please, take them out. I hate it, I can't. Seems like a skill issue, to be honest. He wrapped his hand around my arm and squeezed, forcing rivulets of blood from the nails. I could feel every bit of them moving, scraping against my bone. Ooh. I couldn't help but scream. It sounded awful, like someone else. How about an easy one? Okay. I made a sound somewhere between a groan and a sob. I couldn't seem to control myself at all. Hey, what's going on? I got one more question for you. He grabbed my head and forced me to look at him. Pay attention, okay? This is gonna be on the test. Here's your question. What are the last 5 letters of the alphabet? V, W, X, Y, and Z. Huh? No, that's definitely not one of them. Please let me. One more. Give me one more chance. He got up and took his position at my side. I couldn't bear to look. He slid the tip of the gun over my other shoulder. Wait, I wasn't straight to make my brain work. Z, Y. Did he want it in a specific order? I can't concentrate. The tip of the gun caressed my shoulder. The sensation of the nails moving deep in my arm was making me feel sick. I couldn't think of anything else. You're too slow. I heard the bang and my body convulsed as another nail was lodged in my arm. Ooh. The nails. I sagged in my bonds, twitching reflexively. He was talking again. I heard words, but I didn't understand them. Is he asking me another question? He fired another nail. Stop. I can't. He's asking another question. I know he must be. Is he asking them or me? What's happening right now? Metal on my thigh. He's going to shoot me again. I thrashed, trying to get away. Another nail. And another. One more? Is he laughing? Wait, is that me or am I laughing? I felt his hands on my face. Stay with us now. Come on. Can you hear me? Is that... I panicked at the sound of another question. Yes, I hear. He barked a laugh. I don't have the nail gun anymore. Unfortunately. I could barely concentrate on what he was saying. I could only feel the nail squirming in my muscles, burrowing inside me, heating up my blood. Take them out, please. I beg of you. Why don't you take them out? I looked up at him questioningly. I hate that word. Here, I'll let you use your hands. I heard the familiar click of the shackles snapping open. My arms fell forward like dead weights. The motion aggravated the nails inside them. Go ahead. I can put them out. I need to pull them out now. Pull them. He's watching. I tried to lift my arm. It felt like it was made of lead. It's full of it. Trembling, twitching, my hand approached a nail embedded near my elbow. I gingerly pinched the head of the nail in my fingers. Just pull. Just pull it out. I pulled. The sensation of it slipping out of the meat from my arm made me lurch. I could feel it inside me, sliding, parting my flesh. Rough metal against a soft part of me that should never have been touched. You're lucky he did it only on the shoulders in this time. Like on the arms. Because last time, it was in a very not good place. It was in a no-no square. He called it a new piercing. Such a comedian he is. I pulled, blood and nail emerging from inside me slowly. Agonizingly slowly. Some insane piece of my mind wished I was in pain. Pain is better. Simpler. What? Finally, the tip of the nail slipped out and I let it fall to the floor. I shuddered with relief and revulsion at the same time. What are these words? Good. Now do the rest. I looked for him, bewildered. We only did one? I could feel panic hammering at the side of my chest. Why? Please, can't you? No. I slipped at the sound of his voice behind me. I gulped and tried to steady myself. I can do it. Just do it faster. I felt along my skin until I found the head of another nail on my shoulder. Fast. I grasped the nail. Do it, do it, do it. I tore the nail out of myself in one motion. I crumpled into a sob as it skidded across the floor. Hot blood trickled down my arm. There you go. It feels so awful. But my arm did feel better. They're gone. I heaved a few deep breaths. They're just nails. Just nails. I shook my head and went back to work. Unpaid. Again. I began pulling nails out of my skin more quickly. The sick feeling of them sliding around inside me was enough motivation. I pulled them from myself, writhing, pulling, dizzy, blurring. But there was another sensation. The holes the nails left started to feel warm. Warm and tingling. I tore the last nail out of my leg with a moan. Then I slumped forward. My work was finally done. My body was covered in warm spots. Points of light like little stars. I laughed to myself. What the fuck kind of drugs am I on? All of them. I clawed hands. Oh, I clawed hands? No. Clawed hands snaked around my shoulders to my front. The altered metallic voice spoke right next to my ear. You did so well. Thank you. I am the best. My head bobbed dully as the praise sank into my consciousness. I did well? The hands moved over my skin, so warm and soft. I sighed out a breath and leaned into the touch. Feels good now, doesn't it? It did feel good. That's what he was saying, right? Why don't you show chat all your new little holes? Chat! Is this real? That's right. His hands parted my thighs. Show them. Oh, he felt so warm. I wanted to feel more. Like this. He pressed a clawed finger over a bloody punctured hole in my thigh. It was soft. The heat of his fingers sent an electric tingle up my leg. I stifled a moan. Some voice in the far back of my mind told me that it was supposed to hurt. But it didn't. It felt so... What's the word? Weird. I moved a shaking finger over another bloody nail hole and pressed down. The feeling shot up my other leg. I was starting to breathe harder. Perfect. His voice sounded so good. I bet. Let me stop. This isn't funny. This isn't cute. Just be a normal person for like 2 seconds. I immediately shoved a finger into a hole in my arm. The blood was so hot and wet. I couldn't help myself. I jammed my finger in, parting skin, coaxing more blood from the wound. Why does it feel so good? Because we're cuckoo bonkers! We're crazy! Sanity is not doing good. What? Blood ran down my arm as my hips bucked forward under his hands. Is he breathing harder too? You want more? Oh no, he said you want more. Like, that's a demand. That was him telling me what I was feeling. Wow. My breath hitched in my chest. I want more. Manipulation at its finest. Here. He grabbed my hands and guided them down. He pushed my fingers into the loose pink underwear they dressed me in. Any sense of embarrassment vanished the second I touched the sensitive skin. It feels so different. I explored myself with my own fingers. I was panting now. Hard. I couldn't stop. I bucked involuntarily. His claws sank into the puncture wounds on my arms. All I could feel was heat, pressure, friction. No pain at all. This man is crazy. Beg for more. Beg. Yikes. Kinda don't want to say that. Claws clamped down and sank into my flesh. My own bloody hands shook with pleasure against my entrance. Yeah. I got words for everything. I moaned as I arrived, racked by my hazy, magnified organism. I'm too good at this! I could feel every one of his fingers in my skin, fat and muscle, deep inside me. I shuddered at the aftershock of pleasure kept washing over me. Then his fingers left me. A pathetic, needy sound escaped me as he walked away. The cold air where his body used to be made me shiver. Something isn't right. I know this isn't. You like that, huh? See, didn't I tell you? There's more than one way to sink to skin Neko M has an interesting suggestion. I don't think Neko M has the rights right now to speak. His chuckle sounded like music. What kind of music? There's that, Sprite again. You guys really in the mood for power tools today. He's bringing out the... Oh, I'm so excited! Well, you know what I say. Your wish is my command. He walked somewhere into the darkness. My brain replayed the words power tools over and over. Last time he said he was bringing power tools. They were pink. If you know what I mean. Wink, wink. That's bad, isn't it? Sometimes. Isn't it bad? He returned to me holding some new object. I froze at the sudden burst of light and heat. So cool. Neko says you're bleeding a lot. That we should cauterize your little holes. I couldn't fully comprehend what he was saying. I have a little challenge for you, too. Do you think you can handle it? Yes. Me? That's right. Who else? I'm going to leave your hands free, and you're going to keep them down. I looked down at my hands attached to my arms, dead weights. I scoffed. That's easy. He laughed at my response. Is it? Just remember, or else I'll burn your hands. You don't want that. No, I don't want that. That's true. My slurred responses felt automatic, like someone else was speaking for me. A smile crept to the edges of my lips. That's nice. That's easier. Just sit there and do nothing. I watched him raise the nozzle of the blowtorch to my arm. It's called a blowtorch. The heat and light exploded from the tip. That is such a cool, tool. My eyelids fluttered, bewildered. Guys, I'm not an arsonist. Calm down. So cool! An echo of the sun was burned into my vision. I couldn't blink it away. You may not want to look directly at it. Yeah. Not if you want your only eye to keep working. He laughed and I laughed along with him. Yes, I should look away. Because he's such a comedian. It's too bright. The light flashed again and I felt a blast of heat. It's so hot. I lifted my hand weakly to touch the hot spot on my arm. Claws clamped around my wrist. Keep your hands down. I thought it was easy. YN, you lied. I gasped at the change at his demeanor, and for some reason I felt ashamed. How did I forget? I'm sorry. His claws disappeared, and another miniature sun blossomed at the edge of my vision. I started to notice a strange smell. It's burning. Oh, it's burning? Light flashes again and again. The smell got stronger, heat and burning. The little suns. Images of campfires started to dance in my head. My mouth watered in memory of things cooked over a flame. Cool air washed over the hot spots on my body and the darkness returned. How do you feel? Hungry? That familiar fox bark erupted from him. Really? It smells like bacon. Well, why don't you take a bite? Bon appetit, I always say. A bite? He gently picked my arm up from the ground and held it up in front of me. I realized the smell was indeed coming from me. Go ahead. That's my arm. Do it. His voice had changed again. That was a command. I have to. Now I have to. Like, I brought my arm up to my face. Nom 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 nom. And I breathed in the intoxicating scent of charred meat. I want to taste it anyway. Wow, so we were gonna do it either way. I opened my mouth and licked the skin. The texture was so rough and the sensation sent sparks through me. I sank my teeth in without another thought. Tingling, heat, pressure, even the slick of my own saliva. Disgusting. I would never do this. I wouldn't do most of this. I slowly pulled away a chunk of meat with a moan. As I rolled it in my mouth, I felt him press up behind me. I chewed and relished the morsel. Okay. I was so hungry. You're so cute. They adore you. They? I'm asking in a different way. My gaze settled on the camera in front of me. Your audience, don't you remember? I swallowed. Chat. That's right. They've been watching you this whole time. I looked at the bleeding DeVoe in my arm. Something in the back of my mind was screaming. They love watching you bleed. They love watching you fall apart. All your hopes and dreams. All the memories. An entire life spilling out on the floor. Some of them are probably No, I have a word for this, I promise. Some of them are probably pleasing themselves right now. Do you know that? I got it. Something dripping from my skin. I didn't know if it was blood or tears. I was shaking. They can all see you. I heard a faint click and the shuffling of him removing his mask. I shivered as his lips touched my ear. But only I can smell you. You're so different from everyone else. The screaming inside me was scratching at me, trying to escape. Take another bite. This is the best meal you're gonna get all day. Besides that bread. That's my arm. Fangs clamped down on my collar, stunning me to silence. Without pain, there was only the pressure and the vague sensation of tearing. Tearing? Tearing. He thrashed and pulled for a moment, ripping the skin apart viciously. I felt blood spill out from his mouth, still closed over my neck. Then I felt his tongue moving slowly over the wound. Why did I make that sound? I know this is bad, I know it is. But it's so Especially this delicious filet my arm. I squeezed my eyes shut, trying to ignore it. All I could sense was his tongue and his heavy breathing. This isn't helping at all. He lapped at my wound a few times before he finally withdrew, panting. I sat there, still stunned, as he licked his lips and put his mask back on. He cleared his throat. He seemed almost embarrassed. That's enough. With a quick roll of his shoulders, he turned back to the screens. Well, who's ready for the grand finale? You came here for blood, and blood you shall receive. Now we have to commit, seppuku. His demeanor changed again. I couldn't keep track of what was happening. This next game is very simple. He circled behind me again. I jumped a little when something light fell on my shoulders. Wire? It closed around my neck. A bubble of fear made its way in the front of my mind. He connected the wire loop to the chain above me. The wire tightened. I had to strain my shackled legs to raise myself enough to breathe. It seemed nearly impossible with my body feeling so heavy. My head was swimming. Here. Huh? I looked at his offering. I gingerly took it into my hands. A knife. They want to see blood. Blood. They want to see blood. The unspoken agreement materialized in my head. Cut myself and the wire goes away. Right? That's easy. Nothing hurts right now. I slashed the blood sloppily across the top of my thigh. As expected, blood began to seep out from the wound. I look up expectantly. That's good, but they want to see more. The good kind, you know? I slashed again with little concern for my legs. I could barely feel it anyway. No. Huh? Your belly. Deeper. I looked down. Deeper. I touched the point of the knife to the side of my stomach. I knew the wire must be cutting into my neck. My breaths were so shallow. It's like a dream. Just a dream. Dream, 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 dream. I pushed the tip inside, filling with wonder at how easy it was. I understand now. They want to see my insides. My guts! I dragged the blade across my belly deep. Through skin, fat, and muscle. Wait. My hands immediately froze. I looked up at him, knife still inside me, waiting for my next instruction, but he just stood there. We good? You know, I can take a break. Come back in 5. I'll be back on it. I'm that good at my job. He turned to his screens. No, of course not. What did he... Your wish is my... Actually, fuck that. Show's over. Aww. The screen suddenly went dark. I can't see. I felt something grab the knife out of my hands and throw it across the room. I gasped as the wire suddenly released and I fell forward onto my knees. I took in a few ragged breaths as the wire was pulled away from my neck. Dizzy and confused, I felt the shackles around my ankles open. I was pushed onto my back. What's happening? Why did you stop the... Shut up. Just... No more talking. I'm surprised I just formed the full sentence. I heard a knock at the heavy door. You hit the call button, sir? He has a call button. So amazing. You thought of everything. Medics now. I have 2 here. Damn. Just on point. The abdomen. Stop the bleeding. I want her alive. This one's mine now. Maniacal laughter and maniacal laughter. And scene. You lived. We lived. Great. We did memelord mode. I actually want to redo it just a little bit. But yeah, that was the end. Everyone knows it. We love it. Can we move him? No? Oh my gosh. Okay. We're gonna pick the stuff that's like the obvious, the answers that shouldn't be there. So that one. Let's plug our own channel. I wonder what he's gonna say. Hey folks, I'm YN. You could find me streaming on my own channel Mondays to Saturdays at... I felt a warning kick. Oh, okay, I see how it is. I see how it is. That was if I picked to plug my own channel. Moving on. Jazz says your time is up. What? The fuck you mean? He gave the best Oh my gosh. I gave the best goddamn gluck. I gave the best goddamn gluck. These people had ever seen. Don't call it that. You're a joke. Oh yeah? What are you gonna do? Shoot me? Don't call it that. What are you gonna do? Shoot me? Let's just do... let's ask who he is. Let's see what that... Did you forget? But who are you really? What are you? Have you been living under... Have you been under a rock for the last 5 years? I don't know if it's known, but the time between Boyfriend to Death 2 and this game is 5 years. So that's why he says 5 years. I thought that was a cute little, you know, embarrassment. Oh, I heard, yeah, furry, right? Bro, what? No. Get your shit together, but sleep tight. So embarrassing. Should we ask why he's doing this? Why? They always ask why. Fine, I'll tell you. Because I'm really because I'm really good at it. I don't know how to respond to that. I could only stare at him in disbelief. Sleep tight. Yo, I hate him. Oh, I wanted to do this one before. Override it. Yes, the Bedazzler part. Don't hurt me anymore. Just get over with. Glue gun. Okay, so okay, Bedazzler. A what? A Bedazzler? It bedazzles stuff with like rhinestones. Can you please slap me in the face? I know I'm dumb. No. This shit is dumb. No, it's not a Bedazzler. He circled around. Around to my back where I couldn't see. Cute little fishnets in the way. Okay, we're back. This is so funny, bro. I don't know what that is. It's like I wavered in place, having trouble connecting words. It's like a parody. What? He leaned in closer to me to hear. What do you mean? What is he? What? A parody of what? Oh. Oh my goodness. A parody's nuts. Guys, this is comedy at its finest. He fell into that one. No words. Just shoot her in the arm. So amazing. I've been recording for so long, so... But that was it, everybody. We love it. Memelord mode is super funny. I thought the gun one was the most funny. Cause, come on. That was just... Come on. And I think the one with the cameras, where he was like, oh, there's 3 different cameras. Don't look at my ass. That... I can't. But if you guys enjoyed it, just leave a like, comment, and be prepared for Derek because he's coming very soon. I know everybody wants to see him. I know. I think this might come first before Derek. I don't know. Whatever I decide, depending on how long this is and how long Derek's recording is, we'll see who comes first. But with all that being said, Until next time.